Assalamualaikum and hi. So for today, our group will be discussing on how we can produce bioethanol from pineapple waste. But before I go deeper, I will tell you why we choose pineapple waste as our feedstock. So for your information, pineapple plantation will generate a large amount of byproduct each year, and the byproduct will usually be discarded or burnt, which will contribute to environmental problem. But actually, we can use the byproduct as a value-added product since it's rich in valuable compounds that can be harnessed for sustainable bioethanol production. But among all of the waste, such as the peel, the core, the leaves, and the crown, the pineapple leaves stands out as a promising feedstock. So what's inside the pineapple leaves? The pineapple leaves contain cellulose and hemicellulose, which are ideal for the fermentation into biofuels, while the pineapple leaves are fibrous and contain a considerable amount of lignocellulosic material. It offers an excellent opportunity for the bioethanol production through processes such as hydrolysis and enzymatic treatment. Additionally, the leaves also can be extracted into juice, which contains soluble sugars that can be fermented directly into bioethanol. Even though the pineapple leaves are abundant in cellulose and hemicellulose, they have low level of simple fermentable sugar, which make them unsuitable for direct fermentation. Therefore, they need some pre-treatment such as mechanical grinding, chemical hydrolysis or enzymatic treatment so that it can help in the breakdown of complex carbohydrates into simpler sugar that can be fermented by yeast, which will turn them into valuable bioethanol source. So what are the benefits of using pineapple leaves for bioethanol production? First, it is available in large quantities as a byproduct of pineapple cultivation. This makes them as a renewable and sustainable feedstock for bioethanol production. Second is the high level of cellulose and hemicellulose contained in the pineapple leaves, which make them as a strong candidate for bioethanol production after pre-treatment. Third, by utilizing pineapple leaves, it can help in reducing waste, support concept of circular economy and promote a zero waste system where the agricultural residue will turn into valuable products. However, there are some challenges that need to overcome in order to use the pineapple leaves as the feedstock. First is the need for pre-treatment. This will increase the complexity and cost process, and some technology also will be used, which require additional resources and make the process less straightforward compared to when using simpler feedstock. Lastly is contamination risk. If the pineapple leaves is not managed promptly, it can be prone to pest contamination during storage and pre-treatment. Proper handling is necessary to ensure the quality and prevent microbial growth, which can hinder the fermentation process.
I will explain fermentation process of bioethanol production from pineapple waste. So, the first step is pre-treatment, which means this step aims to break down complex carbohydrate. These steps included three methods, which mean acid hydrolysis, enzymatic hydrolysis, and thermal pretreatment. The second step is hydrolysis, which means the resulting sugary material from the pre-treatment steps need to be made available for yeast, which means to free the fermentable sugars. The third step is fermentation, which means the yeast will convert the sugar into the ethanol and carbon dioxide. The key factor for this step is pH, temperature, presence of nutrient, and anaerobic condition. This step will occur in fermentation vessels. The fourth step is distillation, which means we'll separate and concentrate the ethanol, which means involve the heating to vaporize the ethanol. These steps are crucial because the fermentation broth contains low concentration of ethanol. The last step is dehydration, which means to obtain the full grade of ethanol, which means the remaining water will be removed in this process. The key consideration for this step is microorganism used, waste composition, yield optimization to reduce the production cost.
When evaluating the long-term sustainability of bioethanol as a renewable energy source, it is essential to consider its impact on food security, energy security, and environmental sustainability. Our project utilizes pineapple waste as our feedstock for bioethanol production, making it as a sustainability alternative by repurposing organic waste that would otherwise contribute to environmental pollution. One of the key benefits of using pineapple waste is that it prevents competition with food supply. Instead of using the edible fruit, we focus on waste materials such as peels, cores, and leaves, which are byproducts of pineapple processing. This approach not only minimizes the food security concerns but also reduces the gas methane emissions, as decomposing organic waste releases gas methane. By converting this waste into bioethanol, we mitigate environmental harm while generating a valuable renewable fuel. In terms of land and water use, our approach ensures sustainability since pineapples are already cultivated for the fruit industry, meaning no additional land is required. This prevents deforestation and habitat destruction, which are common concerns associated with biofuel production. Additionally, while pineapple cultivation requires moderate to high water use, utilizing its waste for bioethanol means no extra irrigation is necessary, further conserving water resources. The carbon footprint of bioethanol production from pineapple waste is also significantly lower than that of traditional biofuel crops. By using waste instead of growing crops, especially for bioethanol, we reduce emissions from fertilizers, pesticides, and farming operations. Furthermore, pineapple waste left to rot would naturally release gas methane, so fermenting it into ethanol helps lower the overall greenhouse gas emissions. However, fermentation and distillation requires more energy, and to maximize the sustainability, renewable energy sources such as solar or biogas can be integrated into this process to further the reduce of carbon footprint. To enhance sustainability, process improvements such as optimizing yeast strains and enzyme efficiency can increase ethanol yield from pineapple sugars. Additionally, incorporating that heat recovery systems in distillation and using biomass powered processing plants can reduce reliance on the fossil fuels, making the entire production process more energy efficient. So, using pineapple waste for bioethanol production is a sustainable approach that minimizes the food competition, reduces waste-related emissions, and efficiently utilizes agricultural byproducts. However, to achieve maximum sustainability, continuous advancements in energy efficiency and resources optimization are necessary to ensure the lowest possible carbon footprint. Thank you.
So I'm going to talking about how to make bioethanol production to more eco-friendly. First up, let's talk about clean energy. Instead of using fossil fuels to power the process, we can switch to solar panels or biomass energy. And did you know that We can also recycle heat from distillation to save energy. Smart, right? Next, by using genetically improved yeast or bacteria, we can speed up ethanol production and get better results. And with a process called fermentations, we can break down the sugars and ferment them in one step so that we can saving time and energy. The CO2 from fermentation can be captured and reused to reducing the waste and pollutions. Instead of releasing it into the air, we can use it for algal farming, dry ice, or even making soft drinks. And what about the leftover waste? Well, we can turn it into biogas, which can power the production process itself. That means less waste and more energy. Lastly, we can use better enzymes to break down pineapple waste faster and even mix different types of waste for a more efficient process. So this is the example of bioethanol process of pineapple. That's all from us. Thank you.